Hello, let's do the New York Times games for Wednesday, January 14th. We've got Frosty Snowman right across the top here. That is interesting. I'm sure those are getting broken up. I'm seeing John Grisham movies. You have The Rainmaker, The Client, The Firm. I think those are all John Grisham books that were turned into movies, right? Very 90s movies. I don't see a fourth one, though. The Partner, I mean, most of his things are law-based, so I could see a movie being called that. Maybe it's just books. Maybe it's the books and not the movies. I don't remember one called Partner. I never read the books. I just remember the movies. If I had to guess, I would say Partner, but that would 100% just be a guess. What would Snowman be going with? Wasn't there a movie called The Snowman, like a horror movie? I mean, that's way different from The Firm, The Client, and Rainmaker. I feel like I heard that, but I'm not into horror movies. Firm could go with tight and secure as well. I think fast kind of has that as like a secondary definition. Something is fast, it's secure. Like you hold fast means you hold tight. So I wonder if they have movie right here, so maybe that is a gigantic red herring. So maybe these are getting broken up. Maybe rain and mist go together. Snow. Okay, maybe this is starting with like frost, maybe. So maybe frost and snow are going together. These are like states of water. These ones going right next to each other seems very tricky, though. I'm going to hold off on that. I kind of want to try it, but I'm going to hold off. A user, consumer, a client. A partner. An account. I think account goes better with this. Because partner is somebody you work with. An account, a client, and consumer, a user, somebody who is a customer. I still don't know what movie's going with. Or auction. Or treatment. Or secure. No, secure goes with tight. What would the other one? Partner? I really don't have one for partner either. Why would these four be going together? I had tight, secure, fast, and firm. I had user, consumer, account, and client. And Frosty Snowman, and Rainmaker, and Mistletoe. So that would leave these four. And that doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense to me at all. Why would these four be going together? And it wouldn't be purple if I was right about the other categories, because the frost, snow, rain, and mist would be purple. So what would this be going together as? All right, I'm going to try this just to see if it's an actual category. Starting with weather conditions. Starting with and it's not purple? Are you joking? That's such a purple category. Huh. Okay. Is auction, movie, partner, and treatment going together then? Silent auction, silent movie, silent partner, silent treatment. Okay. They basically have two blanks in, well, no, not a blank, but they have two purples in here. Wow. Okay. And then fast, firm, secure, and tight. Fixed. Okay. I thought that would be green, but I guess not. Receiver of goods or services. Okay. That one was kind of weird. I am shocked that the starting with wasn't purple. All right. Let's see what they give it. 2 out of 5. Okay. All right. Let's check the bot. All right, 73% solve rate. Kind of interesting that one mistake is higher than none. Usually don't see that on a solve rate this high. And the biggest category is still losing at 27%. I wonder if people fell for the movie red herring. Or book. Whatever. All right, 98 skill. It should have been 99. 399. That's pretty unique for the solve rate this high. All right, let's see. Almost half the people getting yellow first, and then a bit of a drop down to green. And this one was fairly obvious that I didn't want to try it right away. So 16% of people getting blue first, which I thought was purple, and then only 3 getting purple first. Let's check over. Not a whole lot of difference here. 90, 82, 79, 73. Oh, that's 17% difference. All right. If you're losing, you're getting nothing, or maybe yellow, yellow, green, yellow, blue, maybe. Not a whole lot of purple first in here. No purple first in these in the top row there. All right, just check the mistakes. Client, user, consumer, partner. Okay, I thought that for a brief second. Frosty Snowman movie, mistletoe? I mean, mistletoe goes with like snowman, but Frosty is the snowman. Like Frosty and snowman are two parts of the same thing. Like, why they wouldn't put two things that closely related with two other things that are just sort of related. Firm, client, account, partner, law firm terms, okay. And then law firm roles, rainmaker. This is what I was thinking maybe with the movies, the rainmaker, the firm, the client. I don't know if partner was one. In fact, I'm going to look that up because that looks like a rainbow herring. The partner. It is a novel by John Grisham. Did they make it into a movie? Oh, it's about to be made. Starring Tom Holland. Okay. I had not heard about that. All right. Well, so that's what they did. That they were being tricky, although I hadn't heard of the partner. I probably would have tried that if I knew about it, because it was, I think, a bit more broken up than the water one. On to the mini crossword. All right. Abruptly stop texting ghost. Shaving kit item, razor. Sure. 2024 film role for which Mickey Madison won Best Actress. I do not know. I haven't been watching a ton of movies lately. The ancient Chinese used compressed blocks of tea leaves as this. I have no idea. Shape of a round chart. Round? What? Oh, a pie chart. Dad's dad informally. Gramp. Capital of Vietnam, Hanoi. Ozone layer, part of Earth's atmosphere. Ozone. How you might wake up after sleeping funny. Sore. Wait up. That's not how you spell that sore. It's S-O-R-E, right? Cafeteria food carrier tray. All right. The misspelling of sore probably cost me a few seconds. What else do we got here? And Nora for 2024 film role for which Mickey Madison won Best Actress. Okay, I have no idea what that is. The ancient Chinese used compressed blocks of tea leaves as money? I did not know that. Is pie the shape? Round is the shape. It's called a pie chart, but it's round is the shape. Pies are round in shape. Round isn't pie in shape. I'm a little bit of a quibble with that one. All right, on to pips. All right, this has to be 10. We could just throw the 5-5 in there. That's possible. Let's do 0-4. Nope, we can't do that. We could do this, though. Nope. This has to be a double up here. Maybe we don't do the 5s there. What if we did 6-4 over here? Like this? No, that doesn't work. Wait, what are we doing? We could do this. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah, just throwing the 5-5s over there cost me big time. Big time. Okay, on to medium. All right, this has to be a 2. We have a lot of 2s. This also has to be a 2. Okay. This has to be a 1. We have 2 1s. We have a 1-5 and a 1-3. And it's going to have to go over this way to the greater than 9. So it's going to have to be the 1-5. And then this has to be a 2 with at least a 5. In fact, it has to be this one. Okay. This has to be a double. We have a double 6, but we don't have another 6. So that's going there. Let's see. Greater than 3. So this is either the 4s or the 6s. How are we getting to 13 over here in 4 dominoes? This is 12. So if we did this, we'd have to do something like this. And then have the 1-3 go up. Does this work? We do have a 2-3. Yes, this does work because we can just do this and 4 down. All right. 55 seconds. I mean, that felt a little tricky for a medium. It says 14. I didn't even notice that. But there were so many 2s, it wasn't obvious which ones went where. I was noticing that this one had to go this way, and it had to be a 1 with a big number, so the 1-3 couldn't go there. I made it 1-5 and forced this to be 2-5. But even after that, there wasn't a ton of obvious things. On to hard. Okay, this has to be 00. This has to be 2 6s. This has to be 2 6s. How many 6s do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So one of these is going to be the 6 and the other one's going to be the 6 1 and 6 2. This 6 1 makes a ton of sense right here. That also means this is going to have to be 3 5s since we don't have another 6 to put in there. Which means this 12 up here is going to have to be the 6. Well, that's not necessarily true. If this 1 6 goes here, this has to be the 6. This 6 would have to go up here like this because it's not greater than 2. All right, this has to be 2 zeros. We still have 3 of them. How many 2s do we have? We have a 2 1 and a 2 5. And it goes into a not equal, so that doesn't really tell us much, does it? You know what? I don't think this works. I don't think this works because in this layout, whatever goes here is going to have to go like this, and it cuts this one off. So yeah, this doesn't work. So I think this is going to end up being the 6 6 over here, being tricky. All right, do we have a 1 5? We do. So we could do this. And then a 5 with a greater than 2. We have a 5 3 and a 5 2. So it'd have to be the 5 3 up and the 5 2 over. We only have 3 5s. All right, and then we have a 6 0. So we could do this and then this. We'd need a 1 up into this 12. How are we getting to 12? We have a 1 3, a 1 2. We can't do 1 2 because these two would have to equal 10, and we are already out of 6s and 5s. So this would have to be the 1 3 or the 1 4. Let's do the 1 4. It's easier to get to 12. So we could just do the 3. I think that's the only domino we have that equals 6. We couldn't do the 1 3 because we don't have a domino that equals 9. Actually, this only equals 10. What am I doing? It'd have to be the 4. Yeah, this couldn't be the 1 3 because we don't have a domino that equals 9. Okay. And then we have a 0 0 and a 0 3. We could do 0 3 down and then 3 3 and then 1 1. That works. We need something greater than 3. We could go 4 3 up and then 3 2 down. And then 2 1 and 0 0. I think I got this if I place these in the right spot. All right. I mean, under 3 minutes, especially compared to yesterday's, which was brutal. But yeah, that wasn't too bad. I placed the 6s wrong. I mean, putting the 6 1 here seemed like the right move to try right at the beginning. But it didn't work because of the layout. So you got to pay attention to the layout. And then realizing that we only had 3 5s kind of forced a few other things, I think. Like the 4s up here. Just realizing that it was very limited what could make this 12 up here. Alright, if you're enjoying the videos, please leave a like and subscribe and let me know how you did on all the puzzles today.